Yeah, so we're in the middle of this historic snowstorm. The
Yeah,
temple has been shut down. The doors has have been shut, which is I think unprecedented. Certain people are angry. I'm worried about
I
some
gotta
people's
be honest.
I'm worried about some people's families, if you catch my drift. But it is we're so for our viewers out there, if you're just joining in on our show, we are in Connecticut, in the Northeast, and we're just experiencing an epic nor'easter of snow.
Yeah,
It's cold, it's windy, everything's closed. It's but how are you holding up, man?
I'm doing pretty good, hanging in there.
Yeah.
Did some shoveling. I was under the impression I was going to the temple, as we texted earlier,
Mhm.
at 10 because certain somebody was like sure it was going to be open. So I was like, I'm gonna go.
What,
I need the
why
money.
would you even be sure? Like just close.
I, I don't know. And
Risk
then you,
people's, risk people's lives for
right, for nobody being there. Like no one's gonna be there.
right.
And then you texted me, "Did you get the text? It's closed." And I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I got that. I
So
was like, let me text this dude ASAP.
yeah, so
Yeah.
nice. In my history of a long time being there, never closed the store.
No, dude, I'll be honest with you. I think we closed early, but this is actually the first time that things are like totally closed at the temple. And this is
And it happened twice in a month, in less than a month,
I
or
know
in
it's
that time.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like the final leg of winter, it's
I know.
winter's last kiss or something for spring or
So for them to close two times and lose $1 million a day,
oh dude, someone I
like,
feel bad for someone's family right now.
like, because that's what they make. They're averaging between 800,000 and I guess I don't know, but that's what I hear from people whispers. Or when they do that nonsense in the morning. I'm never paying attention. I don't.
Right.
I have my own earbuds in, and it's usually thinking of episodes. You know
Yeah,
what I
right,
mean?
right, right. And me, I'm just like philosophizing in my head. I don't work the mornings anymore, like rarely. And on the
Yeah.
weekends they really don't do that as far as I know, but I don't open. And I'm using my own I'm just like I like to think about things. I'm like, I'm not worrying
The
about
best earbuds are your thoughts. I mean, if they're
yes. Yes.
positive, I mean,
Yo,
like,
dude, you know what I do? I think about my thinking. I'm not thinking about their thinking?
yeah, I'm thinking about like what the next episode is going to be
Yeah.
constantly, and
Yes. Yeah. No, if it
it's
was
been
my way,
insane.
I'd have a book to read a little bit, but obviously,
Yeah.
some people don't want us educated or talk about edu educative topics, but here we are.
No,
About
no.
educative, I think that's a word. But anyway, but yeah, but let's okay. Well, by the way, this is the esoteric hour, so
Yes, we got a deep
so
one.
by the
Oh
way,
my
no
God.
esoteric episodes have been released yet, so this would be probably the
Well, no, Schopenhauer.
Oh, never mind. Yes. No, but I count that as
Yeah.
philosophy. Oh, I guess. Oh, you know what? You're right. No, it is. What am I saying? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna link the Schopenhauer episode to this one.
Okay.
That's like our debut, like it's like our debut album or something. But debut episode of the
Yeah.
Esoteric Hour where we touch on more esoteric topics. So right now we've covered true crime, music, and right now we're in like the progressive and punk. Um, we're gonna be doing yeah, lots of great content, so you definitely want to be subscribed, like this channel. We got a Facebook page I'll link below as well. And things are all good here, but today we're gonna be talking about this idea of time travel, which I know we had a conversation yesterday. Is it possible to time travel? What is time travel and how exactly does it work? I'm also looking forward to talk about certain movies that demonstrate these books
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
life of stories, but I'll throw it to you, dude. Where do you want to get started with this?
I have a bunch of nerdy scientific facts. Now, I'm not a scientist guy, but the only science that
Are you
like
sure you're
I've
not a
always
scientist, man?
maybe a base scientist.
We got a scientist man here. That's you.
I mean, I've always been
Scientist
like
man. Scientist man.
I,
Tell us.
I never, I've
Dude, wait a
always
minute. We're a Labco. You are a scientist man.
we are in a way.
No, I don't wear a Labco. You do.
Oh,
I
oh,
wear,
I do. Or where? Oh,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
look
yeah.
like I'm out to like chop up some stuff with that apron or something.
you know, me, yeah, I wear a white coat. But I should wear it backwards when I'm there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, so for
And that's
me,
important. That's the science. Let's start here. What is
yeah,
actually reality? I know you mentioned a lot of good stuff last night.
the only science I've ever really had interest in was astronomy and the greats that go with that,
Right.
Kepler, Galileo, Tycho
Right.
Brahe,
Right.
and then quantum physics. I love Max Planck. He's a fucking genius. And
Mhm.
Einstein and Stephen Hawkins, who is surpass almost. I don't know. Would you say
It,
he's close to surpassing Einstein with his
I
thought
think they're
work?
both. I think they're both. I mean, did you also, as a side, he was busy on Epstein's Island, but that's another story of another day.
What's that?
Hawking apparently.
What?
Yeah, dude, you didn't see? I sent you a meme about
Could
that.
that guy even get it up?
Well, listen, man, he went so clearly, but in terms of his
Not to be
uh
disrespectful to the
no,
poor
no, no, no.
girls
It's just something
that
really.
got
It's not even me making it
whatever.
up. I just saw something on my social media Instagram feed, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Dude,
But his name came up on the list on the documents that were leaked or released or whatever. To be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. But but in terms of his mathematics,
are they
both
just
are,
adding people on that list each day just to fucking destroy people's
this one's confirmed,
records?
and it's becoming a joke. So I honestly, I mean, it's horrible if it's true, but I did hear about it.
Let me see your boutique.
Oh yeah, but it's effed up.
Dance
But
for me, girl.
but in terms of his like scientific and mathematics, I think equal. They're both building on, on so much genius work that Einstein started, Oppenheimer as well with astrophysics. I'm sorry, not,
Yeah.
quantum mechanics, and then we're talking about the Astros. He was definitely revolutionary in the terms of what he was like theorizing in terms of math and black holes.
Oh, yeah.
Very influential as a scientist. And there's actually a great movie. He want the theory about a theory about everything. I think the movie's titled.
Yeah.
That's about his life, more on his love, but him trying to come up with a theory of everything, right? That could
Yeah.
explain the whole universe. So that's
Yeah.
him. So I think both are equal, Einstein and Hawking. Only different in how what they end up being famous for.
Right, right. He kind of took over where Einstein left off.
Left off, yeah, yeah.
And now with time travel and all the great work that both of those guys talked about, they're all theories. We need somebody to put those theories into practice
Mm.
if it's
But
possible. And and I believe I have proof it's possible. And I told
right,
you
what
that.
you're gonna talk about, yeah. And it's funny because and this is really great for like science fiction. And what's really famous about Stephen Hawking is his theories on black holes, which I think, and I could be wrong, he was the one that really went into research into this because nobody even thought it was like a thing.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
um
Einstein brought up the black hole theory
right,
many, many
right. You
years
know what you
ago.
said also, and there's actually another mathematician that's really famous. I don't know if you've heard of him. You have something in your notes, Roger Penrose.
Was he ever on
Famous mathematician
was
also
he, was,
at
was he on
Oxford.
this was he on that show, on the History Channel, that like the Nostradamus effect and all that?
Maybe I saw him in a debate with a Christian philosopher, and he Roger and Hawking are like Roger's a little more friendly towards religion, Hawking not so much.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, you know what he proposed famously, Hawking, and maybe it has to do with time travel, that black holes emit radiation,
Yeah.
and this is weird stuff, but eventually evaporate, whatever that means. And what's really interesting about him is cosmic singularity. That,
Hmm.
and this is with Roger Penrose, the mathematician. So both of them are really famous. Um, Showing that how general relativity, right, with Einstein started, implies that the universe began from an infinitely small, dense point. And I think for the time travel stuff, that's like really important to
Yeah,
understand
yeah, yeah.
because, yeah, this is gonna like sort of tell us about how could time travel be possible, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, And at the end, we'll talk about if we believe it's possible
I will
or if
debate.
it's
I think
not.
you and I are kind of
Yeah.
debating
We
there.
have- Yeah. So I'm just gonna get nerdy,
Go ahead, go ahead.
you know, um, because I got to put the facts down, first, you know. So we have traveling to the future, proven and observed. So it all starts off with Einstein's theory of relativity. Time is not constant, it slows down or speeds up, depending on how fast you move or how much gravity you are near. This is called time dilation. Now the speed of now the speed, the faster you move, um, the slower time passes. So let's just think about that.
Yeah, no, and okay, you mentioned it. It's kind of like a parody. E equals MC squared.
Yeah,
Like you
but
really have
there's
to.
something to it. You got to do
No,
something
no.
to
There's
that.
and by the way, I'm not a I consider myself an amateur philosopher, amateur theologian, psychologist first, I guess. We're
Yeah.
talking about math, man. This is stuff that you really. There
Oh,
is a
this is
world. We see E equals MC squared, but you explain exactly what mathematically Einstein proved that. And this, I'm going to talk. I want to talk about the movie Interstellar,
yeah.
directed by Christopher Nolan, that demonstrates a lot of this like mathematical work because it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting. So with Einstein, right, and as a connection too, with Oppenheimer, Einstein was also responsible for a lot of quantum mechanic work, which
Oh
this
yeah.
this dude is just I don't even know how I don't even know how like how does one like he think of this stuff, you know?
I know.
It,
But you know what's funny? He couldn't play the violin good.
he couldn't.
Could not play the violin well.
All makes sense. I mean, he has a mind instead of, I guess, the
I
musical
I
ability.
had a wonderful teacher named Lucy Jaffe. She was an opera singer, and I had to take uh music dictation from her. And she told me, "Don't worry if you mess this up or whatever. You know, Einstein couldn't count four and play violin,
Wait,
so
couldn't
now
count in four?
and he couldn't play the violin to
Well,
the four
it's funny.
beats.
I can't do that. I mean, that's just
But like you could learn to do that.
no, no.
You
You
could
can
learn.
learn. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he
He
probably
could.
definitely.
He couldn't. That's a right brain versus a left brain.
Oh,
A
you're
hundred
saying
percent.
he couldn't at all?
He could not count four and play the violin.
That's interesting. And yet he can come up with like, build on like Isaac Newton's like mathematics, and
He
isn't that
couldn't
crazy?
play. He couldn't play Mary Had a Little Lamb.
It's crazy. That's in psychology they talk about other types of geniuses, which I'm also the metal table spirit is possessing me. I want to do an episode on genius, going back to that, using
Oh yeah,
psychological theories of Howard Gardner's theories of genius and multiple
yeah,
intelligences. So just take a note on that. But going back to
definitely.
special relativity, first I guess I want to talk to you. Speed of light is constant. What does that mean?
I
Yeah.
think it means it never stops. The speed. You know, I don't want to sound like you know, like I said, I'm not a scientist, so this is like all fun, really, just our
Oh
interpretation of
yeah,
it.
by the way,
But
please don't fact check us. I mean,
yeah,
if people,
if you're a
no. But
you, a scientist or an
if you're a
astrophysics,
scientist, man or woman, yeah, comment below. Like definitely, like we want to hear you build on our conversation. I think that's like
yeah,
right.
and this is just our own, you know, esoteric idea of time travel because it is
Yep,
esoteric in a
yep.
sense.
And
But you
no,
gotta,
we're kind of coming up with our own ideas. It's like, and again, you
yeah,
can people out there, please don't fact check us. Watch this at your viewer discretion. Don't believe our. We're just discussing, right? And like trying to
our
come up
theories. This is our
exactly. It's
theories
meant to be
of
really
what time
fun.
travel is. Because no, if you knew what time travel is, you know, you wouldn't like we wouldn't be here if we did. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
we'd be watching Amadeus' Magic Flute right now.
Oh,
You know, so
dude, 100%, man. Um, but yeah, but going back, yeah, I like what you said there that this idea that the speed of light, which is the speed that light travels, which no, we take it for granted, but we don't really think that, for example, like this, the sun is like, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away, the sun's light, and yet it travels
Yeah.
here, right? By the time it travels here, essentially it has sort of traveled through time, like literally. And
Yeah.
Einstein's theory of relativity, also with time and space, and this is really important that they're relative to the observer's motion. And we talked about this last night. Again, like, and another thing with outside of this in philosophy, which is my love, this idea that, in psychology also as well, because in terms of, how people are trapped by the past, but that
Yeah.
is such a tragedy because the past does not exist. Essentially,
Right.
everything is constant. Everything is like, and that's what's really insane um, about this idea that time is relative to the observer's motion. And then also, what you just mentioned with gravity, that that Einstein described gravity as like the curve. This is so weird, but the curvature of space-time caused by mass and energy. And that's like
Yeah. Yeah.
some that
Heavy shit right there.
this
Like,
is heavy, dude. But for our, I guess for to make things more simpler here, the speed of light in a vacuum is the same for all observers, regardless of their motion. Now, I guess this would be the time of the universe. And this is
yep.
really important in terms of us. Is time travel possible?
Yeah.
And what normally we think of time on Earth is not time. That's
No.
just
No.
time for us. If we use the Earth's revolution around the sun, right,
Mhm.
which is essentially that's what a clock does,
24 hours. Yeah.
right? Right. If you use that time is just a construct. So, and it's kind of it
It's
kind of makes me think
man-made.
it's man-made. So that's why when I'm
We,
late to
we,
temple, I'm just like, who cares? Like, if I,
there's no
dude,
time. Time
no,
doesn't
I'm kidding. I'm
exist.
kidding. Don't be a nihilist
To
out
the
there.
head, to the head temple. Oh, you're late. It doesn't exist. Time never existed. You know, it was man-made. You said we think by the Romans. That was our theory.
Yeah, no, and actually, I'm pretty sure that clocks like were invented because they I don't know who exactly invented. Oh, actually, you know what? The first clocks, the Egyptians. So apparently they
Yeah.
use something called water clocks. But I know what we think of like the sundials, like these type of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely these are ancient. You know what? I was wrong. Romans were famous for it, but by the time of Babylon was trying to use this. And actually, pendulum clocks, dude, they did not come into existence until the 1500s. So even back then, the idea of telling time, when I was trying to explain to you, a lot of people operated on nature's time,
Yeah.
sun,
Yeah.
equinox. So they really had no concept of time like we do.
So, like in the Middle Ages, they didn't know 2 o'clock. There was no such thing.
If anything, they probably would measure by the position of the sun.
Right.
So,
Right.
and it's funny because, um, and this is really cool with the historian when they try to put time, our time into history. So they'll,
Yeah.
for example, like Jesus died apparently on the third hour of the day or whatever, or whatever,
Right.
not third
Right.
hour, but the 13th hour or whatever. They'll use these, our ideas. But yeah, no, they had no concept of time. So just imagine their mindset was like definitely different from ours.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mentioned that for biblical purposes. Let's add a little religion here. Is that um, the ancient Israelites and even at the time of Jesus, the Jews at the time, they use the Old Testament way of keeping time. With
Yeah.
again, like sundown, sunrise, the Sabbath, right? They had this way of telling. Also, their calendar was based on the Old Testament.
Yeah.
So and for our purposes here, well, Einstein building on Newton's gravity and introducing concepts like E equals mc square
Yeah.
came up that, light, the speed of light is in a vacuum. It's the same. It doesn't matter if you're on Earth, it doesn't matter. And it's affected by space-time is affected by mass and energy and particularly gravity.
Right.
Again, that's like,
Those
dude.
are the three. That's the important things.
I don't know if I just
Mass,
took LSD or something, but
no, mass, gravity,
mhm.
in space time.
Yep.
Uh, now, if we break the speed of light, we're surpassing time. That's the point of time travel.
That's yes, and that's this is demonstrated famously in the movie for if you one of my favorite movies, I could do like a whole episode on this, is Interstellar, directed by Christopher Nolan. You can see that how that works. How there is a great scene where there is some sort of planet near a black hole, and some of the astronauts go on the planet, one stays. When the astronauts go back to um, the ship, there is a tragic moment where the guy has aged 20 years, and
Right. I'm gonna talk about that. Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
only a few hours on that planet. And
Yeah.
essentially, what's going on here is that if based on Einstein's general relativity, this is where it gets thing, and this is going to be important for our conversation on time travel because gravity actually warps time, believe it or not.
And
See,
that's factual through mathematics.
and it's crazy because for our viewers out there, watch Interstellar, and it's such a tragedy. It turns out that them being on this planet that sort of is near this black hole has caused them to essentially jump time. 22 years has passed, and our main character then puts on videos from back home, and all his children are grown up, and he starts
Yeah.
crying. It's
Yeah.
devastating. It's tragic, right? So there's kind of like, but for our,
They actually got it wrong in that movie. Because if you're near a black hole on a spaceship, which you can never be, not yet, you know what I mean? Because a black hole would suck the spaceship in. I think so, right? The force of the gravity of the black hole is way more than 20 years or 50 years. It's 220 years from what I read.
no,
Because
no,
when you're
no, and
by,
no, no, you're 100% correct on that. Like that's obviously like you got for the story, you have to take certain liberties because
yeah,
imagine
yeah,
that was the
yeah.
case, the dude is dead.
But
Like that
how
would
fucking cool, how cool would that be
that
if
could
you
have been
didn't
a nice that could have been a nice like and again obviously for the story the
yeah,
black hole in the movie is called Gargantua. It is an ancient black hole. Essentially it has now turned into this sort of this very beautiful object that also gives life to this planet, but again because of the gravity there's a scene you probably seen, have you seen the film?
yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
Okay, it caught there's water in this planet, which is why the astronauts went to this planet in the first place,
Yeah,
find a new home for planet Earth. But there are, dude, they're like 50-mile waves, like in height, or like 100, like it's kind of scary because and it's because of the
yeah.
gravity that um is affected by the black hole Gargantua. But it's this ancient black hole, and that's another idea too. Like what happens to black holes, like how they age. But going back to what you said, yeah, 100%. But in terms of story, would it make sense because it's a film?
No, no, no.
But if it was real, yeah, and it shows you how it's how devastating Einstein's general relativity theory really is. It's like, and it's weird to think about that the time in the universe is like this. And
Mm.
so this is important for time travel because in a sense, this can prove that we can time travel.
Yeah, I believe through science and Hawking and Einstein, it can happen. We can do it, but the problem is they give us the guidelines, the map, the theories, but we need somebody in the next, I don't know, how many 200, 300 years
Yeah.
to build something that can make it happen.
Mhm.
Or some people say they've done it already. And there's
Right.
been proof of that too.
And I guess you're going to head into this, but this idea, and Interstellar demonstrates this idea of a wormhole, which allows
Yeah.
you to travel essentially. This is so weird. And the movie explains it, actually one of the best explanations. Do you remember the explanation in the movie before I explain
No.
my notes? So when you mentioned wormholes, it got me thinking and these are hypothetical. Like these are
Yeah.
just like right now they're in the abstract, like mathematically and scientifically, but essentially they're 3D spherical tunnels connecting distant points in space. And this allows for interstellar travel. So for like in the movie, the guy explains it like this. There's a wormhole. They travel through it to get to Gargantua. Now,
Yeah.
the way to get this wormhole, the guy gets a paper and essentially he folds it and explains that. He takes a pencil, rips it through the middle of the paper, and that's how it feels like traveling through a wormhole. And he explains what that's what they are doing.
Right.
And that's crazy because again, going back to this, how gravity warps time. Um, time like we think of it, we think of it as like, I guess in a way you could think of it as circular, right? Because of a
Yeah.
clock.
Hmm.
But it's a construct. It's in
Or
actuality
or forward. It's always time's always moving forward.
that right, like the light is essentially like, it's constant. And in my theory, more practical terms, and for psychology, is that when people think the past exists, it doesn't.
Right.
You're just in one constant space. But if you think the past is real, that and you can, that's why people can't let go, and like, mental health problems
Right.
happen.
Yeah, yeah,
People are
yeah.
stuck in this artificial construct of time. You
Well,
have to.
that's imagine. Can that be imagination? That's internal.
Oh, that you're a prisoner of your mind, essentially.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man, causing you anxiety, but that's more psychology. But yeah, for our purposes here, so according to this, that it is possible. And for my thing, when we towards the end when we debate, you can go future. My opinion, you can't go in the past though. But I
See,
know.
that's where I disagree because
Wait, wait, wait. Does this have to do with Einstein, by the way, still, or do you want to move on to the next? What do you have next?
no. Well, I'm going to move on to how we travel to the past already.
Okay, let's head there. Go.
Factual.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Start with the
So,
facts.
so any more on Einstein's theory of relativity? I think you did a great job of
Oh,
explaining it
thanks, thanks.
through the movie.
Dude,
That
I
makes
appreciate
sense.
you, man, because I'm a fellow nerd like you. And that movie, if I could tell a quick 5 second story, one time I nerded out in front of these people, and
Yeah.
dude, they looked at me like I was like, What drugs did you take?" I'm like,
Well,
"Oh,
it's sad. Like if you said if you said to anybody today, a young kid, you know who Carl Sagan is, you
oh,
know,
they would. Oh,
or
Carl Sagan's
or
iconic. I can't believe I
or
know him. Carl Sagan.
or Max Planck. Carl Sagan's famous thing is if you pick up a grain of sand at the beach, that's how many stars are in the solar system,
Right,
or there's more. You know what I mean?
right.
That's like such a mind fuck. Carl, if you get a chance, go on YouTube and watch Cosmos. I grew up on Cosmos.
Dude, I grew up on Discovery Channel. The
Yeah,
Discovery Channel when it was good, and like these
yeah,
BBC programs. I remember the
yeah,
BBC logo from the Discovery Channel.
yeah. I would watch Cosmos,
Yeah,
and I actually seen the same episode that Neil Peart wrote Cygnus
right.
X1 about, which is about a black hole.
It's about a
Now
black hole, right?
I don't think I think he read the article. I don't know if he actually seen the documentary, but Sagan had a weekly show about all this kind of like crazy shit, you know? Okay. So real world examples. Now you can fact check me, you could whatever. This is true. Um, Astronauts on the International Space Station age slower than people on Earth because they're moving at 17,500 miles per hour. A guy named Serge Kirkalev is 2 seconds younger than he would have been on Earth, you know, but because he was up in space and there was four other guys, and it had to do with a time loop, and they figured it out by the clocks, something with the clocks. So to me, that's proof you could move back in time. If we only did 2 seconds by being in space, that's proof right there that we time traveled.
Wait, forwards or backwards? You're the person was 2 seconds younger.
Yeah, backward. I mean, 2 seconds younger than he was and 2 seconds forward.
It, but explain that. Why?
I don't know. I can't give an explanation.
Oh, see, that for me doesn't make any sense.
Something to do with being at the space station when they
Well,
traveled.
I know
It was
time, right? Like I know, like Einstein's theory. Like let's say we apply it here. So when they're in the space station, and I'm pretty sure it revolves around the Earth. I don't think it's
Yeah,
still. Um, I wonder if that's like a construct though. Like I wonder.
he was 2 seconds younger.
Now,
You
how did they
know,
find that out? Like how did they measure that?
I think through clocks. They have specific clocks. They measured it on Earth.
So if he's
They
too,
were
so it doesn't
watching
that
them.
mean doesn't just and I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Like
Yeah,
doesn't that mean like he's not really time traveling? Like he's just in his own constant stream of time, not on Earth?
but he went back. No, he was in space and he was 2 seconds younger.
But if they use the clocks, but those clocks are not accurate though.
No, the clocks in space. They had clocks with them and they analyzed it and it proved that he was 2 seconds younger. I mean,
Oh.
you could look this up. This is documented stuff, and I found that if that's true, if you know if that information is true, then we've already traveled in back in time for 2 seconds.
Now, do you think like 2 seconds, if that's true, like 2 seconds, do you think that is like
It's a start.
okay,
It's a
2 seconds is
start.
nothing, you know?
No, but like it's better than
No, and I'm
not.
still I would have to look this up a little bit more myself, but
I mean, you could if you want to look the guy's name up. Steve Kirkalev. Steve Kirklive. He was a cosmonaut.
Steve Kirkliff,
Captain Kirk. Yeah, Kirkalev. Kirk Kirkalev.
wait, Krikl.
There's an A in between that.
Uh,
Kirkalev.
I can't find him. Well, all I'll say is this time, though. I just think that for me, that's something that doesn't make
Or
sense.
even put in did astronaut travel did an ast is an astronaut 2 seconds
Wait,
younger
you
in
said
space?
Steve Kirklev,
Yeah.
Russian cosmonaut?
Yep.
Let me see. I just think like with that, I just think that it's just that I just think that's a coincidence. I don't think he really traveled in time. It sounds
Really?
like to me. To me personally. But I could be totally wrong. Um, that's more measured by the clocks, but I just feel like that let's see the time travel. Sorry out there, didn't research on the spot. Okay, so let's see. So I have here due to the effects of time dilation. I think that's a key word there, but predicted by Einstein's theory. He spent a total of 803 days, 9 hours, and 39 minutes in orbit, traveling at high speeds. He experienced time slightly slower. See, that's the key. So he's traveling through time,
Right, right.
but he didn't go backwards. All he did, the time was slower for him. And that's so he's proving pretty much he's the real life interstellar traveler.
But it didn't affect his two
But
seconds
he traveled a little point, and get this, look at these numbers, 0.02 seconds to the future. He kind of time to the future, not the
to the
past.
future, not the
Right.
past.
Right. And that's for me, that's why I'm like thinking, and I'm sorry, dude, I'm just like thinking about this stuff.
But okay, whether it was the past or the future, maybe I got just the facts wrong. He did travel to the future, even if
Point,
it's a mil
but the number is 0.02 seconds. Like that would make just like with a blink of an eye, like let's say if I did travel, it would just literally be this like you blinking. Like so
but that's still a
no,
start.
it is.
And that's my point. Like
Right.
that so would you say he traveled
I
in
think he's
time?
like, yeah, like this is just, I feel like the start. So first of all, he's proving what we're talking about with Einstein's theory of relativity. He's
Yeah.
proving
Yeah.
that time is slower for him. He shows you that.
Yeah.
And in a way, forward time travel, future, yes, this is the start. And just imagine if we're able to move at speeds like approaching the speed of light. Like just to even think about that. Like you could have, you could travel long distances.
Oh my God. Yeah. I
You're
mean,
that's what I now the I don't know if you want to start here.
like Han Solo's light speed.
Well, that's where that idea comes from because
Yeah.
essentially one of the reasons why it's portrayed like you know how Han Solo's like, all right, Chewie, like prepare, we're going on light speed, and he drops out like lever, and you
Yeah,
see the light, they slow down because essentially what ends up happening, and again, this is so science fiction, but in a way, using some sort of strong gravity, they travel through time.
yeah,
Essentially, for them, what they're doing is, you know, and obviously this is Star Wars technology, whatever this is, um, using the Millennium Falcon's technology,
yeah,
they slow down and then using some sort of gravity or something, boom, they
yeah.
go.
They go.
But what's really fascinating is that, but problem is they have to be extra sure know where they're going because otherwise they'll hit
Right.
an asteroid or whatever, like it's
Yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and they're traveling in this dimension. This is what Einstein theorized. So I so going back to for time travel, and then maybe you're not in agreement. Yes, this is possible and it's gonna
And,
come.
and okay, and Einstein's theory of relativity is proven from this astronaut.
Right, right. Yes, an interstellar movie based on that kind of work. Yeah. And
But
scientific
it, but
this
it,
is
but in reality, it happened. So
yes.
so Einstein proved we could time travel.
Yes, forward, not backward. And I don't know, maybe this is where we're going to split opinion.
So the blink of an eye
Mhm.
is still the beginnings of. So is this guy a millisecond above us in
Maybe.
time?
But I feel like it's still like, that's so hard to notice. Like, I don't think that's
But when
special
he
enough,
comes back in time, is he ahead of everybody else by
but just
a
by a blink in
quarter?
an eye. I mean, that's still not, you know, time travel. It's just something.
Yeah. To me, it brings hope that
Mhm. Well, and
it.
also he aged a little less, just a little bit. Like it's just something that's fascinating that, okay, in a way, it is
Oh wait,
possible.
oh, it said he aged a little less too.
Yeah, because that's what happens when
Oh,
you're in space.
wow. So all this shit is real.
Yes,
This can happen.
this can happen.
This
Yeah,
can happen.
scientifically proven. It's a form of time dilation and this is what we're talking about. So, and my view is that forward, yes. And I guess where we're gonna split is backwards. No.
Right. Okay. All right. Let me go on to my next
Go.
thing. A couple of things. All right. This is. I'm gonna get a. I might get a. I might get a little wacky
Mhm.
because it's time travel, so you got to get a little wacky.
Well, this is the esoteric hour, so.
You know. All right. Um. Okay. Hawkins. I kind of feel bad now that he was on that island.
You didn't know that? I mean, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that, but it's just something that I sent you a funny meme about it.
I don't know if I caught that one.
I mean, he definitely
Wow.
also like did work on like disproving God's existence and all that. Like, there's no God. So
But if
that's
you're
not
on that island, doesn't necessarily mean like you're a friggin' pervert.
essentially, yeah. There's only one reason to go on that island.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Steve.
So we just gotta be careful here, but yeah, no, I just
All right,
as a joke.
all right.
And he was
So
into this theory of knowledge called cosmology. Like that's
yeah,
general theory of relativity and quantum mechanics, the same world that Oppenheimer was viewing.
yeah.
Um, mhm. Much a little different. Oh, and Bobby, this I don't know if you have something in your notes about this multiverse.
No, I don't have that.
Oh,
You
well,
want to
and
explain that?
maybe towards the end, because remember how we talked
Okay.
about dimensions, and this is really important because we're gonna get really esoteric here. So we're starting with the science first, and then we're gonna see, all right,
Yeah, to the
exactly
deeper.
how does this play out, like
Right,
existentially.
right. So Stephen Hawkins had this theory, the missing tourist theory. So he pointed out that if
Wait, what's it called?
backward,
Wait, what's it
the
called?
missing tourist theory. So like Stephen Hawkins pointed out that if backward time travel were invented,
Okay,
we
good.
would all be invaded with tourists from the future.
Wait, it's called the missing tourist theory?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wait. Oh, time traveler party. Yes. Okay. Yes.
you know.
Okay. Yeah,
So he would he's saying
it's
that
a
if
thought
people
experiment. Yeah.
travel, yeah, it's not a fact.
Yeah.
He would say that people
And,
travel to the future,
right. And the
but
paradox
they would be
model.
coming back.
Right.
They would be coming
That's
back
a,
though.
yep.
Now, I have a theory about this.
Hmm.
I have a theory that he might have been onto something, and people did travel to the future, and they brought back technology from the future, and that's why we have so much new technology. That's just a theory I have. If they traveled to the future,
Who
how
did?
did we get
Who
so
did? Who did?
people? We
What
don't
people?
know. I have no idea.
Missing tourist.
Scientists, maybe mostly intelligent people, like scientists. Uh, you know, um,
Yeah. Now, and just reading here the time travel part, I heard of this. And like in philosophy and cosmology, it's like because time travel is a big thing just to speculate on. But so he argues that saying that a lack of visitors from the future suggests backwards time is impossible. And then he
right
said by
before,
sending invitations after the event, he intended to attract only those with time travel capabilities and no guests attended. So essentially, that if time travel were possible, someone would have attended his party. Like if he said,
right.
and and the problem with this is that he's disproving backwards time travel.
No, but this is forward. I'm saying forward time travel.
Oh, okay. So, but let's say if someone did go forward, they can't go back. How would they, unless, oh, I see what you're saying. So you're saying that there are beings from the past, our past, that
Yes.
came forward.
Yeah. People with I don't know, let's just say quantum physicists, scientists, astronomers found a way, say in the 70s, to travel to 2020 and find this
And
technology
by
that
the way,
we have.
he did hold a time traveler party. It's weird. He actually to he actually did this thing because he thought that people in the future, like if it was to show people.
Yeah, nobody showed up,
Right. And
Yeah.
you know what's funny here? The problem is the paradox, and the philosophers were already talking about this like
Yeah.
2,500 years ago. One of the paradoxes, you cannot violate causality. Like, and I actually believe that. It just backwards time travel for me, uh, is and just to think about more like if the past doesn't exist, what are you traveling back to? Like, how exactly does this work? Like, in my opinion, in my view, I think it's impossible. You can't.
Well, I got a theory about that when we get there, but
Sure.
so how do you feel about my, fun theory that people traveled from the 50s, 60s to like modern times, got the
Right.
technology, brought it back. And I'm only going to say this because we're, as a civilization, we have not progressed much from first century to the Industrial Revolution. And we talked about this. Like, what was our first real modern marvel? A train.
Mm,
We made a train. You could travel by a train. Then eventually that led to, Tesla and all his great inventions
mhm,
and telephones and light bulbs. And now this is all 19th century.
mm,
So from first century to late eight, and we didn't put a date on the Industrial Revolution, but like, I don't know, 1850, something like that.
mm.
When trains came out, we were doing nothing. We were doing amazing things with architectural things. We're building buildings and things like that. But with technology,
Yeah,
we weren't
the
doing it.
accelerated change in technology.
So how did we get so good so fast?
So
That's the question.
that's Tarek, but let's go back to your theory. But if someone from the 60s did time travel,
Hmm.
how would it now you using Hawking's ideas here, or now you're more,
It's Hawkins' idea, the
but
tourist.
they can't go back
Why? Why can't they go back?
because of what I just explained. So
But
Hawking was trying to prove that you can't because you cannot violate causality.
but then where did we get all this modern technology? This is a crazy theory of mine. Like,
Right.
why had, are we that intelligent that we came up with all this technology with cell phones, computers, and stuff?
Mhm.
I mean, the genius brains out there who have done this, but why didn't we do this in the 1400s? Why are
Mm.
we doing this
Or like during the
now?
time of like Jesus or
Yeah, why now?
mm.
Are we getting help from aliens? Number one. Okay. That's a huge theory. Number two, are we traveling to the future, whether it's Hawkins' idea or not, and we're coming back with this idea?
Mm.
I'm just throwing that out there. It's a
That
wacky.
one for me, no. There's another one.
So that you don't believe that we got technology from future people, that this is all invented in the past 130
Ooh,
30 years.
well, let's go back to the aliens. Like if aliens are able to travel at the speed of light,
Hmm.
so I would assume that they would return, but they have in a way jumped time.
Yeah.
So they're just jumping time. So yeah, they are time traveling, but they're going faster than us.
Right, right.
Um, and if they develop technology like the Millennium Falcon, well, they're able to go back because they jumped ahead.
They could go back
That is
because
possible. But that would be the alien space. They're
right, right,
traveling
right,
through space if the technology stuff.
right, right. Okay, that
Um,
so maybe we got technology from aliens
that's one theory. Especially
because
and in the past too, because that's what the ancient alien theorists say that. Like, how did these civilizations build stuff like Machu Picchu, the
Mhm.
pyramids? There's a lot out there. Like,
Yeah, all lined up to the heavens,
mhm.
you know. All right, and just one of my fun theories. Now this one we talked about, which is kind of crazy. Um, what's this word? So every time you look at the stars, you are looking into the past. You are not seeing the light in the stars. You're seeing it from 2,500,000 years ago. So every time you look up, you're not looking at the real sky.
And that's
You're looking.
yeah,
It's
no, but and they always say like by the time you look at a star, it's already dead. Like if you actually, it's just a fun theory, but it collapsed. But yeah, poetically, that's astounding because that is looking into how time works. And again, we're so used to like Earth time, and we
yeah,
make the mistake of one of the things that um people make them my this is my opinion, but one of the things people make the mistake is that they put themselves in categories of time.
yeah,
And that's a mistake because in actuality, that's not how the universe works. And civilizations in the past, like the ancient Maya, the Egyptians, they were more in tune with the universe, with the time,
right, right,
which is what you're saying.
yeah.
That's like a beautiful poetic idea. So when you look up at the stars, essentially you have traveled, I guess, in a way like what you're watching is that light has traveled to you because you know how eyesight works. It uses light.
Yeah.
So, but in real life, whatever is happening up there is already, God knows what, the star collapsed already, or,
So we're not seeing what is behind it.
it's kind of an illusion.
So
Beautiful.
what? So what's behind it? You know what I mean?
Interesting, right? Yeah. And actually the only way to know is by using a telescope to bend light. That's what telescopes do.
Yeah, yeah.
Telescopes sort of like the way they work is that they use mirrors and light to get images. But even then, like we have to rely on it. There's no way for us. There's no way to know. It's crazy.
I know. But eventually, some technology we're gonna find out.
Yep, demonstrated
You
in
know.
movies like Interstellar and 2001: A Space Odyssey, where they show
Yeah,
you this.
because these secrets can't go on
No.
forever. You
And
know
the
what I
fun
mean?
thing about like the song Cygnus and hemispheres is that if you were to travel to this,
Yeah,
what is out there? What are you gonna find? So
yeah,
when our protagonist goes through the black hole in Cygnus and then hemispheres, he comes on this weird world, this dimension where there's a fight between Dionysus and Apollo.
yeah.
And he comes out sort of like a messianic, like, demi. And 2001 Odyssey does the same thing, which that's the thing. Like, if we were to travel, like, what are we gonna find exactly?
That's the thing. What's out there?
And you know what's even crazier? And I could be wrong about this, but when you see a Hubble telescope image, NASA has added that color in, that color.
Oh,
So we don't even exactly know what it looks like.
oh,
I
interesting.
could be wrong, but yeah, they add the color after,
Wow, wow.
which is
I
nuts.
mean, the Hubble is starting to see things that we've never seen before.
It gives us the views into what goes on out there, whatever that is. But
But
essentially,
it's
we are peering at some sort of like, I guess you can call it. It's very poetic, but
a past life
you're not. It's not there. It's already happened. It's like a weird thing about it.
illusion.
So
It's like we're
maybe
not
maybe
seeing the sky as it should be seen.
that's why every time you see the stars, cherish it because it's gone. It's kind of like
Yeah,
poetic.
no.
The universe already went past like like thousands of years already.
But then what's a shooting star when you see it shoot by?
So a
It's
shooting
something
star is
dying
traveling through space.
at the speed of light.
And it's beautiful because yeah, well, not the speed of light, but speeds. Like you see it as a blink of an eye when you see it
Yeah,
up in the
yeah.
sky.
That's fascinating. Oh, then there's the grandfather theory,
Hmm.
which we talked about.
Explain. Did we
So
talk
if you
about it already?
went back in time,
Go.
no, we talked about it on the phone. So if you go back in time and find a way to go back, I'm obsessed about. I do not want to go to the future. I could give a fuck about the future. I want to go back
Right.
because because
Maybe I
the
shouldn't burst your bubble. I'm sorry, but for me, it's like we'll
because
debate, quick debate, but
that's where everything happened. Woodstock,
right,
seeing
right.
Miles Davis
That's
for the
why you
first time.
gotta, if you lived during those times, you gotta cherish it, man.
Oh
Because
no. But I don't even want
imagine,
to go back.
imagine being a fly off the wall in Woodstock. Like
Yeah.
the people that saw some of these performances,
Mhm.
dude, literally once in a lifetime.
But
And
even
that's
forget
what,
what like forget Woodstock. I want to go back to the Crusades.
right.
And I want to go back to just to hang out with Jesus. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Uh we talked about going and see the magic flute for the first time. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
grandfather thing. I'm obsessed with going back. I'm obsessed with going. I mean,
So what is the grandfather theory?
so the grandfather theory is I go back in time, okay, and I meet my grandparents, and I kind of make them not get together, and they
Right.
break up, and they never have my mother.
Yeah, they killed their grandfather before the parent is you're conceived.
Yeah, say my
And it creates a
grandfather,
contradiction.
right? I'm
No, no,
stuck
that's why
there.
you mentioned it. So okay, keep on.
I'm stuck in that time because I don't exist.
Well, yeah, because the time traveler is never born. They cannot go back to kill him. So, but this is a logical inconsistency to time travel. That's what I'm telling you. It doesn't make sense. How does that work?
Yeah, no, just another theory somebody had
But
about
but
traveling.
you do realize that disproves backwards time travel.
Um, I guess.
I'm helping you put it in context.
I guess,
You can't. It's just really, it's like it could be, depending on how you look at it, very poetic, but you cannot go back in time. That's
but
and that's why when
right, but
Jesus
you
says
could go in the future, but you could go to the future though. They
that
proved it.
scientifically you can time travel.
Yeah,
You're not going into the future, you're time traveling. You're going faster than most people.
right. Where time
And
slows,
by the way, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Just
right,
like my Socrates, like mine, like
where time slows down.
yes. So
Right.
if you hypothetically went to Mars,
Yeah.
because you're not affected by our time, you, I will age, you will age less, but you will
Mhm.
age differently. So by the time you reach Mars, right? Who knows? I don't know how fast or. And
Yeah,
it
yeah,
depends
yeah.
on how fast you're traveling as well, because you would have to be pretty constant. Wait, pause. Wait, dude. Okay. Yeah, so it's just funny. I don't mean to burst your bubble, but the grandfather annihilates your idea. You cannot go back in the past. So your dreams of seeing
So,
Jesus or crusades is impossible.
so my grandfather idea is out the window. Man, you're killing me.
No. It disproves that you cannot go back in the past.
Okay. All
And
right.
actually, let me just mention one more thing. Just to return uh uh this interesting story that's told in the New Testament is Jesus saying that um because back in the day the Jews observed kosher laws, right? What we know as kosher today, they can't eat certain
Yeah.
foods or whatever.
Right, right.
Jesus essentially, and I guess for our a Christian today, said to them, does not matter what you eat. That is not what defiles you. You probably know this passage. It's what comes out of your heart. What,
Right.
for example, if you say, let's say you say, I hate my dad, it's out. You
Yeah.
said it. You
You,
cannot take it
you
back.
can't take it back.
Dude, it's
Right, right.
devastating. That's why this idea of like watching your mouth and what you say using language for truth comes in. And it's something to think about.
Right, right.
It's
Right.
devastating.
That's
Once it
true.
comes out, and again, it maybe not to give loose hope for people. You cannot take it back.
You can't take it back 5 seconds, rewind. Like
No,
on a video. You like rewind it.
no, it's even worse. Nah, if you took it on video, it's there forever. I mean, unless you
No, I'm
delete it.
saying like, like a video you could rewind to the
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, right. You cannot. Life doesn't work that way.
All right. Okay, so we talked about the wormholes, and the time dilation. It makes time slow. This creates a bridge between different times entering the end. So, like, if you enter a worm, now this is what I always was told by my astronomer teachers. You go to the top of a wormhole. Einstein, I think, believed this theory.
No,
Go to
no,
the
no.
top
When
of
you say top, what does that mean? Like
there's
entrance?
two. Yeah, there's two. There's an opening and
No,
a
what are you
close.
talking about? You're talking about like entering?
Entering the wormhole.
Okay, so entering. Okay.
Yeah. So I this is what an astronomy teacher in college taught me, and I believe Einstein said this. You go in the top of a wormhole, okay? Somehow you get there, you go through the wormhole,
Yep.
you come out of the wormhole
Hmm.
through another dimension.
Theoretical though.
That theoretical, yeah. This is all,
To our viewers out there, no one fact check us, please. Like,
no, this is theory,
yeah.
theories.
Okay, not you're gonna mention dimensions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go through another dimension, but that dimension could be a dimension in the past. And
So
that's Einstein did talk about that.
the problem with that theory is problematic. Not according to the math and science though. So if that's true with Einstein, he was wrong. And Hawking actually proved him wrong. If that's true. Because I didn't do the research
I'm,
on that, but
I'm pretty sure Einstein said if you travel through a wormhole, you could wind up in the past. That's like
well,
a theory. Theory.
the thing is, so we would assume that if you no, but the thing is, you're only moving forward. You can maybe if you went back, maybe, but you would have to like you're bending time and space. So let's say this is the wormhole, right? You bend it.
Mhm.
Okay, you go forward. You went forward. Okay,
Yeah.
so about that logic, you went forward, future. Now let's say
Right.
you decided to go back and try to go back. Now, is that possible? Um, my Manny's theory is no. You would actually go
Right.
forward again.
You keep going forward.
You will keep
So
going.
going to the top of the wormhole,
Now,
going
maybe
through the
maybe you'll go
wormhole.
back to the dimension, maybe. But again, that's really like tough. And if you did, because if you go through a wormhole, you're jumping time. Now, if you go
Yeah.
back, essentially, you wouldn't really go back in time. You would just go back to the place you started. And that's
Right.
assuming if you can do that.
Yeah. I'm
This is demonstrated in the movie Interstellar.
pretty sure Einstein, from what my teacher told me, that was part of the theory of relativity with wormholes
I
as
mean, it's
well.
speculative.
Like I said, this
No,
is all
no.
our theories.
And think about it, like rifts through time and space, this idea that let's say right now we had the technology to bend time and space, and then using gravity, we will travel through, we have bended. and literally, you're thinking like God here, but you bend fabric, and we travel to another time or another, or maybe we decide to go to another dimension or whatever. Um, Now the idea is, can we go back though? If how would the, if and based on the math and science, you can only go forward. So and
Right.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but based on the math, it just another one that doesn't make sense. It just produces so much. It wouldn't make sense.
Okay. Okay.
And if you go back through the rift, you'll just keep going. It's kind of like it's a good science fiction cautionary tale. You just keep going and forward, or another you'll dimension hop if any. So this is gonna head into like multiverse theory.
Right.
Maybe
Okay.
that's what
But
you're referring to.
probably, I mean, so coming out of the wormhole, you go into different dimensions, but those dimensions are not in the past, they're in the future.
They just exist, but in different times.
So you
You
might catch a time from the past.
no, because you're not traveling back in time. You're jumping. Does that make sense? You're a time jumper. But then if you do that, first of all, you're gonna age. You're gonna age differently, but something's gonna happen to you. Let's say, hey, I want to go back. Okay. To go back, you would go back. So let me give you an example. Okay. You are 25. Okay.
Yeah.
25 years old. Let's say you have a wife and kids, and then you're like, all right, I want to time jump. Don't like my life, you know? You decide to time jump. Okay. You bend time and space, you enter a wormhole because you have the technology, you go. Okay, you're gonna age differently. It might be possible that you might not age at all. Okay. Let's say that now you just jump time. You're not like you're time traveling. Now you go back because time doesn't stand still, right? That's
Yeah.
where that devastating Rush song comes in. Time stands still. It's impossible. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Your wife might be dead already. And if anything, maybe you are now you go let's say you can go back. 200 years have passed by.
Wow.
So you can't. You see, that's what's so devastating. And
Yeah,
time
yeah,
is
yeah.
always depicted as like slipping through your fingers. An honor of time. So see, you're
Right.
not traveling back in time. You're just heading back to where you started.
Okay. All right.
Hopefully I explained it well. That's the problem.
That
By
makes
the way,
sense.
I'm using the math that you're giving me. The
Right,
science
right.
just
Yeah.
wouldn't make sense.
I'm trying to just prove the math. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And look at that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I can tone down the Socratic
And
stuff.
this all goes back down to theory of relativity, basically. Einstein, you know, and then Hawkins' party. Nobody showed up.
We had no friends. Maybe he was at the wrong party. He was at Epstein's Island.
They all would imagine they showed up then.
They all went there.
They time jumped to Epstein's Island. Okay. Now you might have to, fact check me. Like I said, I'm a novice to this
Dude, I am
technical
too,
stuff,
and it's
but you
great
you
because
know a lot more
no,
than me.
I'm putting your stuff in like philosophy mode. Like you're telling
Yeah,
me this, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, that doesn't make any.
I love it.
And
I
by the way, I love Interstellar, 2001: Space Odyssey, Time Stands Still, Cygnus Rush, are all about that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Rush was ahead of their time on everything. Oh, I saw that video today.
Dude.
I don't know.
Oh, by
I
the
don't
way,
know.
that video you sent me of her plan, I think that's real.
Is that really her?
You know what's funny? I forgot what she looked like.
It didn't look like her.
Dude, did we enter some dimension because of the way I could have sworn she looked differently.
She looked very different if that's really her. And if it is,
I'm not
she's
gonna lie.
nailing
They
it.
had this funny thing where like those were her grandfathers, like their way of joking. Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
Um, does it work? We'll leave it at that.
Would they be could they be her grandfather? No, they'd be more like her father.
Father? All right.
Yeah, it's like Rush is 20 years older than me. I'm 10 years older than her. Unless Getty had a kid at 14 or 15. I
No,
don't know.
Alex did. No, I'm kidding. Not
Anyway,
kidding. He's high school. Anyway, yeah, sorry.
all right. You may have to research this because you probably don't know about this too much. I
Go
think when
ahead.
we talked last, the cosmic string theory.
Okay.
Now I
Well,
had I had a band called Cosmic Strings.
yeah, that's a cool prog rock album
Yeah.
title band.
Cracks in the universe, strands of energy that are uneven, leaving behind ultra dense strands of pure energy. It's seen, it could be seen in wave form or heard in a hum form. And now, this guy named Richard Gott said, if you can put two cosmic strings together, you can create a time curve loop in space and time that will take you to the past.
Hmm. Who
You
came up with this?
want to look Richard Gott. Richard Gott.
Who's
Um,
he?
he's a
Oh, an American
quantum,
astrophysicist. Okay.
yeah,
And then he said, what's the theory called?
cosmic strings.
Let me see. Okay. To propose that two parallel cosmic strings, theoretically, theoretical, incredibly dense remnants from the Big Bang, moving past each other at near light speed, can warp space-time and not to time travel. And then these structures can create these, like you said, closed time-like curves, which allows the spaceship to fly around them and return before it departed. Um, the only thing is that you just loops back in time. I mean, but the only problem is that I don't think that's as if that happens. Like if
It's a theory. It's a
two
theory, but
cosmic strings, but um moving and they would have to move past each other at near light speed. I mean that's almost like
I
I don't
mean,
know
in,
how
in,
would
in
well
number
how
one,
would that work?
and they'd have to find them. Finding cosmic strings in the universe, they're cracks in the universe, and they're what did I say they were? They're
But these and again, we're talking about this theoret it's so theoretical though. It's just things that were left over from the Big Bang. So assuming that it's traveling at light speed and then hits another one, it warps the time and assume let's say you put a spaceship around it. This allows you to sort of loop, so you're looping. Um,
and it comes in waves, so they could detect it
and you
in
can interact
waves.
with your own past. But I just don't think
That's why I named the band Cosmic Strings because I've been
that's no,
obsessed with
it's cool.
traveling into the past, and I had his book
Right.
years ago, and I was like, maybe the cosmic string theory. I mean, it's you gotta be technology's got to be there to get the waves to line up
Not
perfectly.
even even before technology, you would have to find this in the cosmos. Um, because it's like the universe warping space-time. So two parallel strings, one string near a black hole, moving past each other at near light speed. Again, theoretically, and if you were able to find this, would create this closed time-like curve, and then you could allow a spaceship to return to a its past. But the only problem here, this would have, let's say if you want to do it, if it was possible, it would have to be near Earth. But the thing is, it will probably destroy Earth. So that doesn't make sense. It would just
But
come
it's a proven, but it's not proven. It's this guy's theory. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's very theoretical. You're
there are
creating
people out
shortcuts.
there. There are scientists. I'm not the only lunatic, right? Who believes we could go in the past. There are scientists with minds beyond. Richard Gott's brain is like on the next level. He's saying this. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
don't know if he's being laughed at by his peers or other people who are like, well, you got a good point, but how are we going to do this?
Right.
Like, how do we get how do we find the cracks? How do we find the waves? And then there's a hum. We got to find a specific hum. Once we hear the hum, there's the waves, and then how do we get there?
Right. Right. But again, you would assume that um if you were to interact with your past, right? So um it is possible just that to find this though, I don't think it would I don't think you would find it. They call it the hidden scars. that are
Yeah.
on time travel,
Yeah.
and that they have to be harnessed. So you would have to find them and then find these closed timeline curves from the present to the past.
Right.
So we're
Maybe
talking
the
about,
Hubble. Do you think the Hubble's capable, or it's not even good enough?
nah, this is so impossible. Like there's no maybe in the future. And you're talking about the string theory of time travel. So again,
Yeah.
but think about the odds of this. So it would have to be two cosmic strings. They have to be traveling in opposite directions and crossing each other, and then this would warp space-time in such a way that it can create this time loop.
Yeah.
So you could interact yourself with the past, and go back in time. But what kind of time that would be, I'm not sure.
Right.
And you would have to find this. And this is just a theory. It hasn't been proven.
No, no. None of this has been proven.
Hmm.
The only thing that's been proven is the cosmonaut that aged a millisecond.
Mm, right.
Uh, you,
I think the cosmos is interesting. Maybe that could be one way.
but
Maybe.
that is proof that we traveled. I thought it was in the past, but we traveled into the future,
Hmm.
right? So I think, in a sense, we could say we did travel into the future,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
So the cosmic strings theory is debatable with you, or you just don't think it's
For me, it's very debatable. Because again, it's theoretical. There's no way to prove it. I mean,
right.
unless someone goes or someone locks the math. But so you would have to assume that the universe is woven with this idea of called cosmic strings.
Hmm.
And then
Which they don't even. Well, did he prove? I
it's
wonder if he
all,
proved. He
no,
must have.
it's all theoretical, man. And what it is like thinner, it's thinner than an atom. Just think about that. It's thinner than an atom, but and it's some of this remnant from the Big Bang, carrying massive amounts of mass. And so these things that are thinner than an atom carry like massive amounts of mass and big gravitational pull, and they're cracks left over from the Big Bang.
Right.
So if you find two cosmic strings and pull them close together, they would bend time and space. And by the way, the keyword is violently. That they could create a path to the past. But let's say like you were near it, you wouldn't be able to survive.
It would kill
And,
you
and the
before you
Earth
even.
too, it would be destroyed. I mean, it would create this loop if it was possible. But it would be something. It's theoretical. I mean, if it was possible, and all things, if it was a good case and you're able to
Yeah.
travel, maybe. So you would have
Okay.
to navigate the warp gravity.
All
But
right.
it's just weird. It just wouldn't. I don't think it's possible.
Okay.
But it's
So
great. No, but it's based on like like you said, an astrophysicist, very smart one.
yeah, it's a good. I mean, I was always fascinated with cosmic strings as a kid, and I was just
Mhm.
like, wow, I could travel to the past one day. You know what I mean?
That one is your
So
most like. That was your most likely one.
yeah, yeah, cosmic strings. All right, now, what are, Tipler cylinders involving long cylinders spinning at the speed of light, can drag a space-time can drag you into um, a time warp, into a loop. And this is the cylinder theory, and that's the classic time machine. You build a time machine. Inside of it, there's these cylinders, and then it does everything we're talking about already for you in the time machine. I mean,
Mm.
that just sounds too. There are people who think of building these things.
Mm.
You know the you know So that just sounds too science fiction, I think.
Mm.
Right?
I agree. No way.
Yes. But there are people that claim to be
There are claims.
building,
Yep. And people that have done it,
uh,
I've heard about these. Yeah.
and then there are people that are saying they've traveled to the
Hmm.
past. And then there's books like Forbidden Archaeology
Hmm.
by Cremo. I forget his first name. that found rocks that had like
Mhm.
human footprints in it from modern times.
Mhm.
So that made me always think people somehow have a way of traveling into the past.
Hmm.
No. Now give me your theory about psychics, because that was a good one.
Okay, so are we leaving behind the science?
Yeah, I mean, we'll come back to it at the end when when we come to the conclusion. But yeah, I liked your theory on the psychic.
Yeah. So, and just going back to the cylinder theory, I mean, yeah, I just think you left out a lot though to explain it.
Oh, I'm breaking it. I mean, I'm just giving I can't get into the. I don't know
Like
enough
building
about
a
it.
time machine. Um, what's it called? Cylinder, right?
Yeah, it's called the Tipler cylinders.
Right.
Tipler.
So creates a massive. Oh yeah, and that close to like.
Yeah, I can't break it down. Like
Right. So
we hear it forever, and I seen all the parts that go
very
into
science
it.
fiction. Yeah, yeah. Definitely. I don't think it'll be interesting. So you
Yeah,
would have to create this like rotating. You have to be rotating so fast. Um, twist space that you cause time to be twisted. So you could walk through time as you walk through space. Oh, that's interesting. Really, very science fiction-y. Yeah. No.
yeah.
But yeah. So going back to like more esoteric stuff, I think one of the most strangest things in terms of time travel or like how exactly. So psychics. And I know a lot of people, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of charlatans out there
Oh
faking
yeah, ton of
seeing
them.
whatever, but I will say in terms of like palm readers, people that actually like or tarot cards or whatever, there's some cases that's actually pretty true.
Yeah.
I've been told stories of stuff that there's fortune tellers and there's a lot of methods to do it. Now the idea is this though. If they're able to tell the future, that like let's say I go to one and they tell me, yeah, this is gonna happen to you, this A and B and C. And then A, B, and C happen, right?
Right.
What are they peering into? And how did they find out? And what does that mean for existence? Is it determined already? Is like are we walking on paths that have already been set out and the time traveler, the fortune teller is able to see? Like what does that mean?
I mean, is the fortune teller or psychic technically a time traveler with her visions? That's a tough question.
Good question. No, because they're not traveling time. They're seeing
But
something.
they're seeing time travel though. That can happen. Because if
Well,
you're looking into the future,
they're seeing something in the future.
but that is a sense.
And depending on the device they use, for example, tarot cards, right?
Yeah.
Um, now, I my theory is that I don't think that's time travel.
No.
I think that, and this would have to include ideas of God, that the way life could work, and actually, this is why you cannot time travel. You can't, which is really weird, but um.
You're breaking my bubble. You're
Yes.
bursting my
So,
bubble.
yeah,
Manny,
sorry.
I mean, I want to see the magic flute, dude. I was gonna buy tickets. I was gonna buy tickets for us.
No,
There's no
no.
surcharges.
But
We
I'm
just
gonna tell you, but I
go.
do have a theory how you can travel in the past, though. Like I do have them. But going back to
Okay.
the fortune teller, I've known someone that visited some fortune teller, predicted some predictions. Person was like 22, and he didn't think much of it. He was like, VS, whatever.
Yeah,
That was fun
yeah.
though. A and B and C happened.
Right, right, right.
This person peered into something. I gotta ask exactly, did the palm read?
Oh, let me play devil's advocate. Anytime I'm not saying this is true because I've had the fucking cards done, I've had all the bullshit done, you know. Um, not a fan of that shit, to be honest. Respect them. I give the people a lot of respect. But from a religious perspective, coming from the Bible, right? It's
Mhm.
wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying from the religion part of it. The Bible always says there's a passage about that kind of thing. So are they seeing the future or are they seeing an entity giving them information?
Well, that okay, you just beat me because this was what's really fast. Okay, okay, there's a couple of things there. Like the first thing is that the future is predetermined,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird because then, for example, like going back to my real life, not to give his name out, but
Mhm.
um, person got these predictions, was going to move to another country, start a big family, and apparently some big money it was awaiting him.
Mhm.
A and B happened. C is kind of jokingly he's still waiting for, but A and B happened, and kind of strange how when he got the prediction, it was something like, yeah, right, like I'm happy here, like that's whatever, like, but it turned out to be true. And so what that tells me in terms of like how time works, and we have a predetermined future.
Yeah.
Everything is already set out.
Now, do you think I'm going to get real
So
esoteric?
yeah, go ahead.
The minute you're conceived, the sperm hits the egg and
Mm.
you're a
Yeah,
seed.
that no, no, no. So
Is it predetermined?
So something like I'm gonna make it like a string, like, no pun intended, string theory. What, and that's why I hate to say this, but that's why if you kill the baby, that's even more devastating because you're destroying a whole cycle of life that had that
Right.
whole
Right.
fate that for me
You're
that
killing its fate, whether good or bad.
not even its life, also its life, but it's fate. You're killing a future already.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
about how
That's,
devastating that is.
but do you think it's already predestined that this person's going to be an NBA star, a rock
Yeah.
star, a
Well,
homeless person,
that's
a
Well,
Dahmer, you know?
well, and again, and this is very esoteric. So obviously, I'm not saying that this is true. I'm just like speculating. But yeah, and this influence also some Christian theology that some people are not Catholic, but some Christian theology, especially like the Calvinists, I think, John Calvin, that
Yeah.
and he wasn't thinking about this. He was thinking more about how,
He was burning witches too, that motherfucker.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't know about that, but maybe everybody was at that time. But what ends up happening is that he saw that some people were born sinners. There's nothing you can do. And actually, and if we go along with this theory, then that means Judas was born to betray Jesus. And there was
Right.
nothing that,
Just like Jesus was born
hmm,
from the Son of God. You know what I
right.
mean? To be the
Well,
Son of
Jesus
God.
transcends that,
Right.
right? Because with a lot of his things and in terms of where he was. But this means that prophecy is true. People can become prophets if you have the
Yeah.
right being, and God actually can give you this. Now you
Right.
mentioned other spirits, yes. So, and a theory is that, for example, astrology was in the book of Enoch. It was given by a fallen angel. Astrology,
Hmm.
secrets of
Yeah.
astrology. Astrology allows you, using the universe of the time, the cosmos, the movements, it allows you to sort of see where you're heading
Right.
and peep into where are you heading, your fate. So this is weird because then that means that we are so okay, first, if we believe this, uh you can time travel forward if you use
Mhm.
some sort of divine power or divine magic. And I say
Right.
magic because it's theoretical. Otherwise,
Right.
how
Yeah.
would you do this? You can. Um, you can see how your fate's going to be in the future.
Right.
You can't change it though, because if you change it, right, I don't even know where to begin with that one. But if you were able to change it, you'd be going against God, because God
Right.
determines everything, right? So that's another. Maybe that's how Lucifer works. I don't know, but
Well, could you
uh,
change your fate? I'm gonna play devil's advocate through free will.
so dude, this actually destroys free will. You don't have free will.
So when you have a determined fate,
You're
your
the
free will is
so
helping you
you so, right.
guide you. Okay.
Well, free
Yeah.
will is a philosophy to guide you in life.
Right.
Whether
Right. Right. But we have determined fate, right? You
Mhm,
know, my fate. Let's just say I was born to play the bass.
mhm.
My free will helped me guide me play the bass.
No, because
My
you were, well, let me play devil's advocate back at you. You were already born to be a bass player. You were born, no matter
but
what you
my
choose.
choice, my
You think you're choosing, that's an illusion. And you are heading to being a bass player. You were born to play the bass.
right.
And
Okay.
again, but what's really interesting, my point here is this idea of like the mind readers, or not the mind readers, the fortune tellers. How some of the stories is true. How are they doing this?
Yeah,
Also, dreams that tell the future. That's another thing. That is actually a true phenomenon. I've
yeah.
had someone close to me has told me stories where dreams warn him of future events. How is this possible? Right? If the future, so and depending on the warning, it's like, can you avoid this? I'm not sure. Now, what I do think is that you are right. You are able to make your, now get this, you are already on a set path, right?
Hmm.
Is it possible that God has a set path for you, but you can veer off?
I believe that.
See,
I
that's what,
believe
no, and
that
that's where
there.
my thinking led to me. And then I realized, wait a minute. That's why it's even more devastating if you choose to take another path, not the one that God set out for you.
And that's at birth. That's at
Yes,
that's
yes,
at when you're that big and you're in your
yeah,
mother's womb. That's there.
yes,
And then you somehow get strayed from your path.
yes,
And that's,
yes.
yeah,
And the
I
fortune
believe that.
teller using, I don't know what spirit or magic is able to see where you're heading. And there are some good ones. I mean, well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but um,
But are they coming from angelic forces, or
right,
it's like playing with the Ouija board? And I'm not saying anything bad about that.
right,
I've done it. I've gotten results from it. They've
right,
always been right. They've
right,
always been positive, you know.
right. No, and even like it can tell you your death. I mean, that means that we do have the Greeks were right about the fates, the hold the strings and cut them when, and your
Yeah.
mom shows you when your life's gonna end, apparently. It's written on the body, if you believe this.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for me,
yeah.
it's fascinating because then that means, what does that mean about like that means um that there is already a future that's there already.
Mm.
So forget about time traveling. Now we're transcending metaphysics here. Something's happening. And for me, it's always,
Mhm.
I thought about this in relation with religion as well.
What was the big threes? Aristotle, Socrates,
Plato?
Plato's. What did they think about fortune tellers and stuff like that? I know Aristotle believed in metaphysics, so he would have been
Well,
maybe.
There's a famous story with Socrates visiting the oracle at Delphi. Have you heard about this?
No.
Do you know what an oracle is back in the day? The
Oh
oracles,
yeah, it was,
right?
yeah, yeah, the Oracle,
What
yeah.
were they? Like just
They were
in
like
our day.
sages,
Yeah.
sages, yeah, yeah.
They were able to tell some of them are, some sort of like prophets or whatever. So
And
Socrates,
they were like 1,000 years old,
yeah,
supposedly.
yeah, that's
Some of
what they
them.
say. But I don't know
Yeah.
if this is like a myth story, but um, well, what's interesting about Socrates and Plato is that they were starting to go, first of all, they were starting to go against the idea of the religion of the time, their time,
Hmm.
right? And what ends up happening is Socrates questioned everything. Like he questioned everything. Plato then came up with the ideas of the soul.
Yeah.
That already Socrates was already starting, but he really like came up with um idea of like the soul, it lives on forever.
Right,
And
right,
that idea kind of sounds very Christian. Aristotle, more grounded in science, and actually already came up that already beat Hawking, but in his own Greek mind.
right,
And
right.
time is goes forward from one point, and that's change. That's called teleology. So it's like a ripple effect. It starts going, 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 and just keeps
Never
going.
ends.
Right.
Yeah.
And this sort of like also provides more theory for the Big Bang later on.
Mhm.
If I'm not saying like, but the Big Bang theory comes from that.
Yeah.
Something happened and caused this, and then obviously for the Christian, God is that. And then Thomas Aquinas, building on Aristotle's philosophy, said that God is the prime mover. And that's a, by the way, Rush song, that he's the prime mover.
Amazing how Rush keeps popping up. Time
I
stands
know, I know.
still.
That's why
Prime
Rush is the
mover.
greatest band in the world. Yeah,
Cygnus X1.
yeah,
I mean, come on, come
yeah.
on. You know.
And so
Sorry, Joe Silkman, if you're still with us.
yeah, I know, I know. So going back to this, yeah, I mean, we're talking about predetermined here. Is free will a thing? Yeah, it is. And you can actually choose. And there's actually a fantastic movie that demonstrates this. It's such a mind warp thing. It's called Donnie Darko that
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
demonstrates.
yeah.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
ever, I did recommend all the our viewers out there. Watch this if you want
I
to get
heard of it.
what we're talking about, that it could be possible that, for example, like at conception, God has a plan for you. He
Yeah.
creates
I
you. You
believe
kind of,
that.
you can think,
I think that I believe that 100% because, and I think you're on a path, but you could be swayed from that path
well,
too,
well, because of free
through
will,
drugs, through the
right,
bad
right,
people, you
right,
know.
right, or the bad influences, or even if you decide to make a bad decision, like, and that's why it makes sense. That's why thou shalt not kill is a commandment, because to kill somebody of that is so, so devastating.
You're taking away
Right.
all that.
And what's worse than innocent, let's say, for example, an innocent life at preconception. Well,
Yeah,
if we come up with this theory, like you have created this like long, essentially every life creates their destiny, especially one by God. If you cut
right.
that off, imagine how devastating that is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wait, hold on, Cheech, hold on,
Uh,
pause. Yeah, so that's like my theory. But just fascinating just to think about, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I believe in that. I think there's a fate from when you're born. You're on your destiny, and it could be changed by the wrong people. Like an example, before I get to my last point, why are some people just born with a gift and they don't pursue it?
Hmm.
Like I knew somebody who played the piano, dude. They never heard like Mozart, but you'd play them
Hmm.
Peace by Mozart. One listen, they played it. That's a gift from God.
Hmm.
And this person decided to be, I don't know, an accountant and not pursue that music career. So was their fate to be a musician because they had
Well,
this
look, they
ability?
chose money,
Right,
and
right.
that's a mistake. I mean, just depending, I guess, depending on how you look at it, you know?
But
Yeah,
they were born with a God. I wasn't born with a musical
but
gift.
look,
I had a
but look,
work.
they chose the money. They chose
Yeah,
the pursuit of money, which, and again, going back to that Crowley philosophy, I'm not behind that because his stuff is more satanic, but do what thy will is like, I would fix that. I would say do what you were born to do, your passion.
right, right.
Life is
Yeah,
about discovering that. It's actually not the pursuit of wealth. If you
right, right,
make
right.
that your path, that explains why every manager is miserable, accountant. Like, you weren't born to
Yeah,
be an accountant. You were born for some, and music is like one of these things that is eternal. So if you were born a piano player, but
yeah,
let's say life dealt you a bad hand,
yeah,
you decide, screw it, I'll just be like a tax accountant.
yeah,
You're gonna be miserable. You're
yeah,
not, you're living on a wrong, maybe on the wrong path. So,
yeah. It's crazy. And my other theory before we end it, so I have three theories about time travel. And this was an amazing mind fuck of an episode. I love it. And this is what I want these esoteric um shows to be about, to make people think, and make us think and question each other and give our opinions about our, topics. So we have time machine, the Tipler cylinder, a no from you, right? A zero. No, not possible.
theoretical, but I just think it's like not even close
Um,
to
wormhole,
forward.
forward possible
Yes,
in a
not
in
backward.
like million year 500,000 years maybe.
Maybe. Just and
Technology
then think
has
about to travel through that. Like that's insane thing to
yeah.
think about.
Cosmic string, the cracks in the earth
In the
to
universe,
travel backwards.
big maybe. That's maybe.
Okay, so you're saying there's a possibility we could go to the magic flute if we happen to stumble
Yeah,
upon these astral.
you would have to have the fates align and like be near one of these events.
Right. Okay. And then now my last and then psychics we're not sure
The
like if
psychic
they're
is
time
just to
traveling.
understand how time works from our perspective. Like how are they able to see in the future?
Well, we don't know if they're getting their information from an angel or demon. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So it's
So
not
it's
them
hard
doing,
to
but it
tell.
does mean that, but the future does exist. It's already set. Like there's a
Yeah.
future that's set that someone's giving them information.
So in the future, the time traveler future, like, you have to get there. It'll be there waiting for you, good or
Mhm.
bad. Astral travel. How do you feel about that as a ways of time traveling?
Well, for the viewers out there, what is astro traveling? What is that?
Astral traveling is you right before you go to sleep, you hit a state called hypnagogia. In that hypnagogic state, it's wake and sleep, and that's where a lot of things can happen. You ever hear things or just get into this trance state before you go to sleep and you kind of like wake up like what was that? Or you see weird visions in your head. Did that ever happen to you?
No, no, man.
No. Okay. Maybe I'm just I'll just well I've astral
But I've
traveled.
heard it. I have heard having other people.
I've had I have astral traveled and I
Wait,
don't
wait,
know if they
and go back.
what
What were you saying? Like, what did I experience? Like waking up. Like how?
hypnagogia is between wake and sleep. You're not
Right.
asleep and you're not awake. And you might hear your name being called, or you might see things that just pop into your head, and then you kind of wake up and you go back to sleep. It's hypnagogic.
No, the only thing I know out of discounts when you feel like you're falling.
Yes.
That few
But
times.
now here's the thing you got to understand. Astral travel and lucid dreams could be tricky. I don't know if I had lucid dreams, which are so freaking real that you wake up and you're like, that happened. What a great night I had. And then you're like, oh, that was a dream. That's a lucid dream, you know?
Mm,
And astral travel is you bring something back with you. You have something like on the side of your bed or you know. So the astral traveler goes into hypnagogic state. There's a silver cord that's connected to their soul, and they're being pulled by something. And your soul leaves your body. And the master astral traveler can travel anywhere they want.
mm,
You got to be careful because it could be dangerous. You can encounter demons, demonic forces, and stuff like that.
mm,
So you have to do a ritual before you. I did this whole thing, you know. Now, the master astral traveler was this guy I told you, Monroe,
mm,
at the Monroe Institute, and I studied from his book. And if you're an astral traveler, you could go literally to the magic flute, but you're gonna watch it from a distance, like above. You're never gonna actually walk around. You're floating around the hemispheres, pretty much.
mm,
No pun intended, you know. I had a few experiences with astral travel that felt really real because when I got back into my body, I felt that I was in sleep paralysis. If you had that, that's an
no.
okay. You're awake, but you can't move your body. You're paralyzed.
Mm,
And that's when you come back into your body. Some people get it without astral traveling. It's a scientific psychological thing. So, I just had weird certain things that I was floating above my old condo where I lived, watching myself sleep, watching my kid when she was little play a video game,
mm,
and I smelled like something when I came back that was in the house
mm,
that wasn't in the house that was in I had traveled in my mind somewhere else where there was smoke. And then I came back to my house and I had a smoky smell on my shirt. So that was just my only experience. I had another one, but it's too wacky to ever talk about. People might think I'm just like on drugs, but I'll tell you privately about that.
mm,
Um, so could astral travel be a form of time travel?
mm.
It does exist.
It does no. I actually think it is. So not time travel. No.
I think astral travel is in the Bible.
I would have to look into that.
I'm
Do
pretty
research on that.
sure when I
No,
was into it.
I'm gonna say no, but I would have to look into that.
When I was really into it, I think I read something it was in the Bible, So I don't know. So I'm just gonna, we don't have to get into astral travel, but we do a whole show on that.
Oh, I
But
was gonna say yeah. I think it's different. You're not time traveling. I just think that you are essentially coming out of your body, right? It's sort of like some sort of like the idea of a soul. But you're walking through time, right? But you're not time traveling, in my opinion.
So there's been evidence of people doing these things and bringing things back from the past.
No, that how though? That would be strange. I would have to look
Monroe
at it.
did it.
See, I don't think
Monroe set
that's
out,
I
you
don't think
know,
that's possible, especially through astro traveling. How would you do that? Unless
I don't know,
you
but you're
travel dimension.
transparent. It has to do with dimension. You're going through dimensions.
That could be
It's all about
possible. Then,
dimension.
but then at this
Yeah.
time, we're not talking about time anymore. I mean, we are, but this is the world that I call like the dream world or like the God world or spirit.
Lucid. Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
entering this realm that, how it works, man, it's a mystery.
I know. I know. But anyway, on that note,
Yeah.
this was a great episode. We covered a lot on time travel. For you viewers out there, you let us know what you think. Can you
Mhm.
travel? Could we time travel? Period.
Mhm.
We threw out a lot of theories, from the cosmic string theory to the
Mhm.
wormhole theory to Einstein, um, to Hawkins, and let us know what you think. Are we just two crazy guys talking about crazy stuff, or do you believe it? Could you travel to the future? Could you travel to the past? You let us know. This is the Esoteric Hour. We're here to make you think. And the best thing to do is think. And if you just go, time travel, that's full of shit. But you know what? It makes you think. And
Mhm.
if you're not thinking, you're not living. That's my philosophy.
Mhm.
You know, you don't want to be. This is me studying more of the Robert Fripp, red, Gurdjieff philosophy.
Mhm.
You have to think to live. So anyway, gonna wrap it up. This is the Cheech from the Cheech and Manny show, and great episode, and we will see you on the next episode. Any final thoughts?
No, I think for our viewers out there, if you're still with us, like this video, subscribe to the Cheech and Manny Show, and comment below. Yeah, we'd love to hear your opinions on anything that we've said, or if you think time travel is possible, why? If it's not possible, why as well? And yeah, we
Mhm.
would love to hear you. We'll love to hear what you say to us down there in the comment section. And thank you for watching.
Definitely. Take
Oh,
care.
all right, brother. All right, I'll see you forwards in time.
Definitely.
All right,
Later.
man.
Bye.
Take it easy, man.
1, 2, 3.